When most people think about sex slavery, they probably think about the movie Taken or assume that it only happens in third world countries. The truth is, millions of women are sold into sex slavery every year, some even in our own backyard. The men who traffic these women don't care about their age, sex, race, or social class. All they care about is the money. I read the story of a girl who was forced into prostitution at only the age of 14. A man 10 years older than her gave her attention that she really liked and told her how mature she was for her age. Little did she know he was laying down the seeds of manipulation. Her parents did not like him and told her that she was not to see him, but she defied her parents, thinking she was making a good decision for herself. After 6 months, she thought she loved this man, and so they ran away together to Cleveland, Ohio. He claimed that they were going to meet the rest of his family. She had no idea that this so-called family meant herself and 3 other girls. When she met this family, he told her that her role would be to work that night and bring him back the money which he claimed would be used to build their dream home. He assured her that he loved her and would not hurt her. Later that night, a man came and she was told to have sex with him. She refused this, so then he raped her. She blamed herself for not listening to the man that she loved. From that night on, she was told what to wear, what to say, how to walk, and how much money to bring back. She was then forced out onto the streets. She was forced to work from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. A number of people asked her later why she didn't try to escape, and she said this: "Do you ask a child why they don't try to leave their kidnapper? No, we automatically assume that they are the victim and it is not their fault. And that is the case for me too. It is not my fault." The CRS Report for Congress says this about trafficking in women and children. The trafficking in people for prostitution and forced labor is one of the fastest growing areas of international criminal activity and one that is increasing concern to the United States and the international community. The overwhelming majority of those trafficked are women and children. More than 700,000 people are believed to be trafficked each year worldwide, some 50,000 even in the United States. Trafficking is now considered the third largest source of profits for organized crime, behind only drugs and weapons, generating billions of dollars annually. There are many reasons for the dramatic increase in the number of people being trafficked. Some of the reasons include: there are other contributing factors for the increase in sex trafficking of women. One of these is the continuing subordination of women in many societies. This is reflected in economic, educational, and work opportunity disparities between men and women. Many societies still favor sons and view girls as an economic burden. Desperate families in some of the most impoverished countries sell their daughters to brothels for traffickers for the immediate payoff to avoid having to pay a dowry to marry off daughters. The inadequacy of laws and law enforcement in most countries hinder the efforts to fight trafficking. Even in the United States, more effective legal remedies are just now being considered. Let us now talk specifically about women who are trafficked in the United States. These women most often wind up in the larger cities in New York, Florida, North Carolina, California, and Hawaii. The largest source country for the U.S. to receive trafficked victims is from Mexico. Mexican children over 12 years of age are kidnapped and trafficked to the United States for child prostitution. Once inside the United States, women trafficked for the sex industry may be moved around for the internal circuit that includes several of the following cities: New York, Miami, Las Vegas, Houston, Reno, Seattle, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. These women are moved around the country for several reasons. The traffickers want to ensure fresh faces for the clients, as well as keep the trafficking victims disoriented so they will not figure out how to contact law enforcement. Additionally, these traffickers move these women to prevent them from developing any sort of relationship with a client who might try to assist them. To help me prove that sex slavery is a women's issue, I interviewed a few of Auburn's students who are in an organization called International Justice Mission, or IJM. This organization strives to free those in modern-day slavery, especially women in sex trafficking. They also advocate for these slaves so that the rest of the world can see what an issue this truly is.
Human trafficking is a women's issue. About 80% of trafficking victims are women, and so it's the issue that relates to women because as free women we should defend the women that are enslaved and stand up for others because we're absolutely blessed to be free.
One man that I interviewed who preferred not to be videoed said this: "I choose to look at human trafficking not as a women's issue, but as a man's issue. These men are the ones who are exploiting these women, and what we need are some real men to step up to the plate and say, we will not stand for this. Women are to be treated with much greater respect, not as a sex object in the trafficking industry. Once men take a stand, it will no longer be an issue, but the change starts with me and every other man that God has placed on this earth."
I feel that women are trafficked to a certain degree to their inferiority. Men obviously have a lot of control in this world, and they also feel like because of that they can take women and use them. A lot of women that are used in this business are used for sex trafficking, and because of that a lot of men feel they have power over that and they can uphold them for that. So I guess that's the best answer, that I would say women in this business are mainly used for sex, but I would say that men do have a degree over women in the sex industry.
In a lot of countries I think that is the case because women are not as valued as men are, and many, especially in poor countries, women have to work, young girls especially have to work to help bring in more income for their families, and so a trafficker will often use the tactic of offering a job, and that is a trick used to lure them in to the trafficking industry. And a young, vulnerable girl will be more likely to accept this because she feels pressured to be able to help her family, provide money for her family. And by the time she realizes that she's been trafficked, that it's not an actual job offer, it's too late. She's already been sold to a trafficker.
Yes, women are trafficked because of their inferiority to men on a physical level, and even just a level of males being emotionally, prideful and wanting that conquering ability. And so physically, women, are inferior to men, and men take advantage of that, and they take women into brothels and force them to do things they shouldn't do and weren't made to do. And they get stuck because they're fearful of what the man could do to them. They get trapped.
I believe that in order to decrease the exploitation of women, that we obviously need to, in addition to rescuing them and getting them out of the brothels and out of forced labor, that we need to empower women and we need to educate them about the issues of human trafficking so that they're not re-trafficked, because a lot of the times we get these women out and they end up going for whatever reason, be it finances or being vulnerable or just not having another option, back into trafficking. And so it's really important that we educate them and just encourage them that they are worth value. Some actions that need to be taken for me to be taken out of this industry would mainly be to just stop the pimps and to stop the brothels. Of course, that's really something hard that we say we need to do, but to actually get it to stop would be to somehow offer those women that are in there a life other than what they've been given, what they've been known. A lot of times what they're doing is all they know, and they've been brainwashed. They've been forced into this, and they don't know a life outside of it. They don't know how to get out of it. They don't know that there's even a hope out there. So the biggest thing that we can do is to get these women out of these situations, to somehow to stop it, to offer them that there's a hope that's greater than they'll ever know, to share the love of Jesus Christ with them, and just to mainly get them a job, teach them a skill that they can use in their life and they can make money, and that they're not forced to be doing what they've only known is a job that they can make money at. Another thing would be to get the pimps out of the situation in the brothels. I know that that's hard because that's their business and they're not going to stop that, but to change their hearts that there's other ways out there, and this is not the way that women should be treated, and this is not the way that they can handle people in general. Just to stop them, I think, would be the best way.
By your side, wherever you fall in the dead of night, whenever you call, and please don't fight.
Women, we're just designed differently than men. Women have like a tender-hearted nature, and just loyal and caring, and not very hostile towards each other or other humans. But men, we have this pride built up in our hearts that women normally don't carry. And also it comes down to like this conquering thing that we have, where we want to conquer things, whether it's a country, a war, a household, a job, or even like a human body of another person, as sad as that sounds. And so I think it comes down to that, is like our manly nature can be taken into the wrong, just taken into a wrong place, to the point where we conquer the human body, being a woman.